What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be showing you how to do the Hopeless Rescue Challenge in the Long Dark. Now, some of the major important things to note about doing this challenge is you have to move quickly, and in order to do that, drink a lot of coffee. So what we're going to do first is travel from Trapper's Homestead to Carter Hydro Dam. Now, this challenge is not too difficult, provided you can keep moving. Now that is weather dependent, but just do your best to keep moving as often as possible. We got super lucky with this playthrough. We were able to get that revolver and the expedition parka back at the Trapper's Homestead. So that's going to really help us moving forward. So we're coming up to the rail car here. I did stop here quickly just to grab, whatever I could find. And I was lucky enough to actually find some revolver ammo. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to keep heading this direction, following the railroad tracks, and we're going to reach the Carter Hydro Dam. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter this gate here that was on the left, and we're going to follow this up to the front doors of the Carter Hydro Dam. So once inside, you can spend a little bit of your time looking around for loot. There is a lot of loot in the Carter Hydro Dam, so take a look around, see if you can find anything that will help you stay warm. Now you're going to head down these stairs, and you're going to find this door once you get down there on the right hand side. And continue heading downwards through the door, and that is going to bring us to the winding river. Follow this pathway all the way to the water. And you're gonna just follow this to the right. And you're gonna head up this direction for a little while. Now there may be wolves in this region, so just be careful. But luckily we didn't come across any. So once you get to this cave on the right hand side, you're going to follow this path all the way down. And the cave is right here. So you're going to enter the cave. Turn on some light here. And once you get to this opening, follow this, and the opening right here, there is a ramp on the right hand side that you're going to want to take all the way up. Now once you get to the top here, there's going to be some wooden planks. Cross over the planks and continue in that direction. And turn left, and here we are. So we found Pleasant Valley. So, a couple things about Pleasant Valley. It is quite a cold region, so make sure that you don't get stuck in a blizzard. I did end up marking this tree just to make sure I knew which way to come back, but if you're more familiar with this area, you might not need to do that. Once I got into Pleasant Valley, I did make a fire so that I could get some coffee boiling. I had a coffee, and now I am able to sprint for very long distances. That is one of the keys. As said before, make sure that you have coffee on hand so that you can run and climb when necessary. So once you get to the water here, you're just going to continue this way and continue following, go up this hill. pick up a couple sticks along the way just in case we need to make a fire to stay warm. But luckily we got a pretty decent day, not too cold. And keep walking until you find the road here. Once you're along this road, you want to follow the direction that I'm looking right now. I did go through this this field for longer than necessary. If you stay on that road and keep heading up and then turn right into this field, you'll probably find this quicker than I did. But nonetheless, you can find it running through the field as well. It also didn't help that it's pretty foggy, so it's hard to kind of see where I was. But we're just going to keep following this until we find a structure. So here we are, there's a wooden structure there. If you need to take shelter or make some coffee or do anything, you can do it here a little bit safer than being out in the middle of the cold. But we did not stay there, we did leave, and we found ourselves the outbuildings. Now, I did take shelter in this, and I did repair my gear as well as cook some more coffee. And this is also when I started to think about dropping gear that I didn't need. So two really good finds that we had off of the beginning back at Trapper's Homestead were the Expedition Parka that was found in the safe and the revolver that we found on the table. So being as there is a blizzard outside, I'm just preparing equipment for the next morning. And we took the opportunity to have a long sleep here as well. So the next morning has come, the blizzard is gone, and the weather doesn't seem to be too cold, so we set out to find the Dodgers' cabin. And you'll come across this structure on the way, but you're going to want to continue this direction now until you reach the Dodgers' cabin. Now it is a little bit of a trek, but once we reach that cabin, we know that we're really close to getting to Timberwolf Mountain. So we're just going to pass this water here, this frozen lake, and keep heading up in this direction. And you're going to want to continue this way once you get up here. So once you were heading back in that original direction, turn left and walk until you find that mountaineering rope. And then if you look just down here to the right of that rope, you're going to find the Dodgers' cabin. Now I did think we stop in that Dodgers' cabin for a little while. I think a couple hours just to make sure I didn't have anything I didn't need. But then I started up the mountaineering rope. Now before trying to do this mountaineering rope, I do suggest have coffee. It'll just save your focus meter so much. It really just does make sure that, you know, you're not going to have any issues climbing up that rope. Because the fun part is you get to do it again right here. So once you climb up that rope, initial rope, you have another rope to climb up here. And then you're going to continue up this direction. And once you get to the top of here, you're going to be up at the top. And welcome to Skeeter's Ridge. Now I always pick up sticks along the way just to make sure if I need to start a fire I can. But on the left there you can see that downed airplane, and we're just going to keep heading in this direction now. And we're going to go over this hill and you're going to see that tower there. Now if you can see that tower, you're really close to Timberwolf Mountain. What you're going to do is you're just going to pass this tower and keep heading this direction up over that hill. And once you get over the hill, you're going to see the mountaineering rope as well as this cabin that you can sleep in. Now it isn't fully protected like the Dodger's cabin, but you can sleep here if it's necessary. It's also nice to have a stove to cook on. So I did take a little bit of time here, and I did make some more coffee just to make sure I was okay for climbing that rope behind us. And then I went and climbed up the rope. Now, if for whatever reason you have to stop during your climb, there is a ledge that you can click on and let yourself gather back your focus to make sure that you can finish the climb. But I was able to do it all in one go there. And once you climb to the top of that and walk a little further down the path, you'll end up in Timberwolf Mountain. And this region seems to be really cold, or at least the weather that I had was really cold. And I wasn't too familiar with the area, so I did take some time to just leave myself some location markers. So what you're going to do is head towards the landing gear there, those wheels, and just keep right, and you're just going to walk straight after. You're going to come up over this hill. And we've got ourselves the Mountaineer's Hut. So once again, if you need a place to sleep, make coffee, check on your gear, this is a great place to do it. So my focus was a little low, so I did consider sleeping here.
Something is sapping my energy.
But I did just do a quick look around to see if I could find anything. I did pick up the hacksaw. If you can find a hacksaw, I would suggest bringing it. I will show you a little bit further into the video as to why that hacksaw is a great thing to have. So we did get ourselves a decent full sleep here. And that's very important for the day that we're about to have. So this day consists of getting to the summit. Now, this part of the journey, this part of the challenge, I would say is the most difficult, especially for the weather that we had for it, but regardless, we ended up getting it no problem. So the way that we took is go from the Mountaineer Hut, and you're going to essentially go straight until you get to these trees, and then you're going to follow these trees around until you get to this pathway. Now it is very cold, so just be careful with how often you're out in the cold. Take breaks, have an hour fire if you have to, but we kept going for a little while till we could find a better spot to stop. So once you go up over this hill and you come down towards over here, you're going to find this log, and you're going to travel over this log. And just continue going that direction that you came from, and head towards this here. Just keep hugging the wall, and you will come to a spot that opens up on the right hand side that we can make a fire in to get warm, because we're cold right now, and we've been cold for a little while. So taking shelter here, just making a fire, making some hot coffee would be a great decision. Get ourselves some coffee going. Okay, so we can, now that we're nice and warm, we can continue our journey here. We just want to come out of that cave and go right. And you want to follow this. And you're going to walk for a little while in this direction. And you're going to come to a mountaineering rope. climb up the rope and continue in this direction. Go past these trees here. And we're going to be going up that hill. And keep going. Going. Stop for a little coffee there so we can run. And we had ourselves our first wolf encounter. We took him out no problem and continued our journey. It was pretty windy, so I couldn't move too quickly. But you want to come up this direction here. And that pathway up there on the left is the way that we're going to go. Right up here. Don't worry guys, not too much further. Coming down is a lot quicker, and I'll show you how to do that in a pretty efficient manner. So, once we hit this mountaineering rope, you know what to do. Have yourselves a coffee and climb up the mountaineering rope. And you're going to come to this cave right here. Now what we're going to do is walk through this cave. This one's a little bit more multiple pathways, but you're going to want to come to this first section here where you have to crouch, and the second section you're going to have to come around, go up the ramp, and continue through this direction here until we get to the end there. You can see the light. And now we're out of that cave. You're going to want to go to the right hand side and walk up this direction. And it's going to loop around to the back here. And you will find yet again another mountaineering rope. I stopped and had a fire inside that hollowed out tree. Let's make some more coffee and warm up a little bit. I also ended up having, I think, a couple hours sleep just to make sure I was going to have enough focus to get up the mountaineering rope. And I took a torch as well. And we stopped on the ledge because this one actually took a lot of energy. So be careful with that rope. This rope, I would say, make sure that you have a lot of focus for it, because I did have to stop on that ledge. Now, we're at the top of the summit, guys. We have actually made it to the first part of this challenge. The first part is to locate the distress pistol, and you will find it in the plane at the top of the summit. So, to get the pistol, you're going to just enter the airplane here, go to the left, and you will find an orange case where you will find the flare gun, aka distress pistol. Now take all of those flares with you just in case. I mean, you're really only going to need one unless you use it as a gun to scare off wildlife, but regardless, you shouldn't need it. Now I did loot all of these containers. I did only show the one in the video, but you use the hacksaw to open up those containers there. And they're filled with a ton of good loot. Like, I ended up getting an expedition parka, snow pants, and other various really warm pieces of gear. So if you have the hacksaw, or you find a hacksaw in the airplane, you can get into those storage lockers to find food or consumables or clothing. Now, in order to get down this mountain, you can go back the same way you came, but it's much quicker and more efficient to go down the face of the mountain like I am right now, Just be careful with the pattern that you go. Obviously, you don't want to fall too far at the same time because you can get hurt a lot or die. So I did include for this video pretty much my whole trek down the mountain face, just to show you exactly how I did it. I don't think I took like the best route, but I took a route that ended up working out for me. I think there were two locations that I got stuck that I was kind of like unsure if I would survive, but luckily I did manage to find a way down. So we still got a long way to go, but we're getting there. Now at this point, I actually thought that I might have been stuck, but luckily I was able to get up. I was just trying to plan my approach to how to get down further, but luckily I did find a way that seemed to work pretty well right here. I was able to just take this right here and hug it to the point where I could just kind of keep following this down little by little. This spot here was pretty scary because I didn't actually know if I would be able to make that jump. So this was pretty interesting, but luckily we did have no problem with making it over here. But as you could see, like, that wasn't much of a far fall there, and it actually was enough to tear my clothing. So I could only imagine if you did take the wrong step going down this mountain face, that you could end up in a pretty bad position. So just be careful with your approach on this. That's why I wanted to show the entire walkthrough of how I got down. So I just hugged the wall to the left here to just get down a little bit further, little by little. Ooh, that one was a big fall. But once I made it to this spot, I knew I was pretty much going to be okay because I could see pretty much rocks in a pattern going all the way down here. So if you're here in the video, hopefully you're here in your challenge as well. Congratulations, you have the distress pistol and you're at the bottom of Timberwolf Mountain. Now, depending on how much time you have left, you might be in a really good place or you might be in a little bit of a rush. But if you do the rest of this quickly, you'll be just fine. So you're going to want to go to this spot here and find the engine. Once you find the engine, you're going to take this pathway over here. And you're going to find the Echo Ravine. Now you're going to follow the Echo Ravine until you get to a pathway on the right. Here is the pathway on the right. Now you're going to take this and pretty much just walk straight the direction that I'm looking right now, and you will reach the Mountaineering Hut. And there's a black bear there, so we just want to be careful. Keep our distance. But looking that direction right there, guys, we know that the Mountaineer Hut is just on the other side. And we have arrived. So I made myself a fire and made myself some more coffee. didn't want to waste any time, so we left in this weather. So in order to get back to Pleasant Valley, you're just going to want to go to this lake and go to the left, this direction here. And it's pretty straightforward, just go all the way up straight. And look out for the landing gear as we looked at when we came in. Pretty windy, it was slowing me down here a lot. But right here, you're just going to follow this all the way up, and this is going to take you back to Pleasant Valley. We have made it back to Pleasant Valley. Now the weather seemed to continue from Timberwolf Mountain, so we weren't really sure if we were going to get stuck in a blizzard here, but we did keep moving. And we were moving as quickly as possible. So make sure you have coffee and get down the mountaineering rope here. And we are down at the bottom of that rope, and we can take shelter, make whatever we need to, make a fire here if we need to, but we kept moving. So we left straight out here, back the way we came originally, and you're going to find that outpost there on the right hand side, and continue up over that hill. Continue going through the trees. And more trees. And past that airplane. And we're going to go to the right hand side here a little bit. And this is back at Skeeter's Ridge. So you're going to just want to go right behind this rock here. You're going to find the mountaineering rope down. This direction that I'm looking right now. And the rope is found right here. We had a wolf chasing us at this point, but it wasn't really much of a concern because we were going to, take the rope down, so no big deal. So we take the rope down, and we take the other rope down, and we are close to Dodger's cabin. Now Dodger's cabin, if you remember, it will be right here on the right hand side. There we go. Now, we did stop at the Dodger's cabin for a little while. We broke down some curtains to repair our gear from those falls that we incurred when we were going down Timberwolf Mountain. We left after we repaired, kind of during sunset time here. It's actually really nice. It wasn't cold at all, and the weather was very calm, so we took advantage of that. So we just kept heading in this direction. And we just went up over the hill and across this open field. And we keep going up over this hill. Okay, so we've got a place to sleep. did consider leaving in this, but it did seem too cold, so we did end up waiting a couple hours, and then we continued. So now we're just heading in the direction of the small hay barn, right there on the right. And we're just going to want to pass the road and head up through the hills there. And keep heading through the trees. Past the mountaineering rope. But luckily this time we don't actually have to climb that rope. We just keep continuing up over the hill. I hurt my ankle there, but no big deal. Bandage myself up and keep heading this direction. Alright, so you're going to just follow this pathway down, and we're going to be turning right here and going up over this direction now. And what we're looking for is a downed tree. Once we find the downed tree, we can come to the cave entrance that will be located just above it. So we just climb up here. So you just continue up this direction here. And on the right hand side here is going to be a cave. Here we go. Now once we're back in the cave system, we're just going to continue the same way we came. Past the deer. And back out the other side. And back through the winding river. To the left. And you're going to be looking for the pathway up on the left as well. We just had to scare off that wolf there. He wanted to fight us. So just past this downed tree here as well. Follow this back up to the Carter Hydro Dam. So we can't go back in the same door we came out originally, which is right there on the left. This door here we can't go back in. So what you're going to do is go right here and follow this little ledge here all the way around. Now just be careful, because there is a spot here where you do have to work your way in a little bit, and you'll be okay. And once you get past here, there's going to be a window that we can enter to get back into the Carter Hydro Dam. Through the gate here, up the stairs, and to the left here, here's our window. And you're going to follow this, just get yourself through the lower dam, down the stairs, and back through the bottom. And up again, through the door. And back out the front door, which is right here. Here we go. Now we're back in Mystery Lake. We are almost done, guys. We are almost done. So what you're going to want to do now is go through this gate and turn to the left and follow the railroad tracks down this direction here for a little while, and you're going to end up in the ravine. Now, the ravine is quite simple. It's just like a linear path back to Coastal Highway. So we're going to want to just stay right and follow this path here and continue on the path. And you're going to find a tree here that you can cross over. And once you get past that log, you'll be back on the right hand side of this railroad track here. I'm just stopping to have a coffee so I can sprint. But you're going to just want to follow this path all the way down. And you're going to go through the tunnel. And continue following the railroad track. Now be careful in the one section here, you're going to have to make sure you don't fall down. So just be careful in that last little bit of that railroad track section there. You don't want to misstep. Just make sure you pay a little bit of attention to that one spot on that track and you'll be fine. We have now entered Coastal Highway, so we're very, very close. We're one region away to shoot off our pistol. Now you're going to want to come straight down here. Nice sunny day, beautiful weather, nice and clear. And I just start sprinting because we have a ton of energy and we're almost there. And continue down the pathway, a little bit down the, starting to head down the hill. And I went over right here, and I just continued all the way down. And keep going. And just watch your step here, but our goal is to make it down to the road. And once we're down on the road, all we're going to do is follow this road all the way to the end of the region. And once we make it to the end, we're going to be in our next linear pathway to Desolation Point. So I made a fire here. I don't know if I was warming up or just making coffee. Getting followed by a wolf, but not a big deal. Keep following the road and past coastal town site. And keep going. Keep following the road. And we're in Commuter's Lament now. Just follow this pathway all the way through. And we're in Crumbling Highway. So now what we're looking for is a mine shaft that we can enter. So we're just going to want to stay on this road for right now. Keep following this road all the way down. Had to kill this wolf. He was getting a little too close. And once you see that truck on the right there, on the left, go right and follow that up, and you're going to find yourselves this opening into the shaft, mine shaft. And once you're in here, you're going to want to just follow this pathway that I'm showing you right now, and you'll find the workbench here. You can pick up a couple things if you need something. You follow this all the way in, and you're going to find yourselves on the other side in Desolation Point. Now follow this pathway down past the tree, and continue following this path all the way down. And once you get to this road, turn left. And follow this direction now. And you're going to pass up on this. After turning right, you're going to keep going, and you'll find a wooden bridge that you can pass. And another wooden bridge across. And we have found the lighthouse, guys. We have completed the challenge as soon as we fire the pistol. If you're still watching this video and this helped you at all, please drop a comment. Let us know if you made it here successfully. We genuinely appreciate your interaction and love that you came to hang out with us. So we hope that this video helped you even a little bit know how to get region to region. And just like that, guys, we have completed the challenge. Thank you very much for stopping by, guys. If this helped you at all, subscribe to the videos. We make them all the time. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.